Now recording.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our... Thank you, Beavers. Thank you for interrupting me. Hi, everyone.
Beavers! Shut the fuck
up! Welcome to Now Recording. My name is Matt Pitt. Today with me, I got the whole gang here. I got Toxic Piplup.
What's up, guys?
I got Beavers.
Hello.
I got Core.
What's going on, folks?
I got Mitch.
Hey, you know what? This would be like if Andy Richter had a podcast and then invited Conan O'Brien on as a guest.
That's funny. That's actually a good one. No one else laughed but me, but I got it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Andy Richter was like the guy that sat on the couch with Conan O'Brien.
He was Conan O'Brien's sidekick.
Who's Conan O'Brien?
Yeah, you don't know serious?
You don't know who Conan O'Brien is?
Who's Conan O'Brien?
Something about Rey Mysterio.
Well, like Jon Stewart, basically.
Who's Jon Stewart?
Oh my god!
I was like, what the fuck? Welcome, Tommy. So we brought you on to do this episode with us because I wanted to like talk to you, and I want to get all my buddies here to talk to you because they got questions. But the first first stuff I kind of want to talk about is because can
you at least pretend you're hearing it for the first time?
I don't know. But the first, I wanted to talk about Mama Max first because I want to put him on the thumbnail and get as many views as possible. You've been completely.
That was 1 month ago, sir.
Old news, man.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly 100% vindicated, Tommy. How are you feeling?
What was last week's show? Face banks.
That might be next week.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know you got to fight in a bar. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. But no, how does it feel to be like completely vindicated?
Fuck you. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I mean, we did a memory stream with Magnetar where we got a victory royale, bitches. Yeah, doing the Fortnite thing. And I was thinking, like, during that, like, you would have thought that I would have just absolutely loved it. But I didn't get like the satisfaction that I got when like Diorio made his video on Keemstar, because that's the only time I felt vindicated in that situation. Right. Or even when the NCO kind of fell apart and they all are like, well, you did it too. And then, we didn't. Now change your story. So yeah, or I'm really a maniac, and I've been vindicated so many times that it's just getting boring. So I don't know. I really never. I guess in reality, this is going to sound egomaniacal, but I'm actually going to say this on a level. I've been right so many times about so many people over and over again. I am completely frustrated with the fact that no matter what happens, I'm not taken very seriously, no matter how often, no matter what my track record is. And I know that even if I get, which I did, I got a great outpouring of love and people give me a second chance. It's baited and they're checking out my content. And then the same thing happened to Locale at the same time. I know that's not going to change no matter what. I could predict Christ's return. It wouldn't matter. So in a weird way, I've already been vindicated before I even heard Mama Max's name. And it's just, this is you've been with me, almost 3 years now? This is over 3 years. But this has been happening. And you're like new. Yeah. I never witnessed it that hard though. This one, like, I guess you can make the argument with Illuminati. That was pretty hard, but that took a long time. But with this one, it was like 2 years, and then you got felt nothing with that one either, because it was just sad. It was just sad, because everything was like so preventable. And that's what most of these situations are. They're just like completely preventable. Right. From my perspective, I'm older. I'm pushing 50 now. And I don't I don't really get a kick out of young people ruining their lives. I don't really get a lot of satisfaction from that unless they're really evil. And in this case, he really was. But again, I kind of default back to, it doesn't matter how many times I'm right. Augie's going to say, oh, I don't know. I think Tommy went too far this time. It doesn't fucking matter. And you know what? All right, here's what gives me some relief. Lyric was right last time, and now he's getting shit for being right the last time. You always say that. Good. I'm glad it's happening to somebody else. Good. Fuck him. All I ever really wanted to do was have a goofy show, and that's the truth. And it's always been kind of my tagline. And I am kind of copying from Sturm. All he wanted was a stupid show. That's true. But in that sort of quest to find that, I've kind of run into some like real issues, I suppose, and something like the way people really interact when they're really being disingenuous. And I have a knack of pointing that out, and they have a knack of proving I'm right eventually. So so I don't feel fucking much of anything. It was really where in the old days when something like that would happen, I would wake up the next day and almost have a certain amount of tension when I'd open up Twitter. Like, what am I going to see? It's going to be negative. It's going to. I didn't think about it all day. I can honestly say that, and that's not just me trying to be like blowing up smoke up your ass and saying, I'm just like so used to. I didn't think about it until it was time to sit down and come up for the next show. That's it. It wasn't always like that, but I don't feel that. The last time I sort of felt that tension was with Emery, which I was like legitimately wrong in, but it was only like a day. So the next day, and I got hate for days, right? But by the second day, like the first day was like, am I ruining my career? When I realized I wasn't doing that, and I because I know what to do, right? I know how to handle this. Just be relatively honest and laugh at yourself. And I knew I'd be fine, and I was.
Yeah. Well, it's just I remember back when Local Live really started, and you were like, I think you said this on stream where you're like, I'm starting to get a little more attention. Don't think that the moment I do, I'm going to take a swing at Mama Max. And I remember you saying that. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work out. And then all of this fucking just started happening. Yeah, well, it was luck, but
you say that a lot though. Like I don't know, and I've gotten really good of knowing when to listen to you and when you're 100% right, and I've gotten really good knowing when to like trust me.
I think I've gotten to the point where my I don't know has gotten less and less and less as I've been on the
news. But don't stop because I was thinking about this the other day. Like keep doing what you're doing because we got a pretty good track here. I know when to ignore you, and I also know when to listen to you. And and sometimes I'm telling you, somebody knows like, no, we're taking it. And sometimes you take a chance.
Right.
Sometimes you take a chance to look optically bad. And I can afford to do that because I'm washed the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the one thing I kind of admire is like you've never been afraid to look bad. No, like no matter what, you've never been afraid to look bad.
I was under the delusion of looking bad. Well, yeah, there are some.
What I was gonna say is, it's like what you said when you first started, right? You had to be afraid of. After baited, right?
When I first started, I was so unafraid of looking bad, I destroyed myself. So I was actually more crazy back then. I thought I could beat anything or anyone because I was like fucking 100-0 at that point. So actually, no. If anything, I've probably gotten more conservative and like, all right, maybe it's not the time to pick a fight with that guy. But back then, oh my God, I took out Keemstar. What are you talking about? I could beat him, a internet legend with 1 million subs. Sure, no problem. It's fucking another day. That's the way I thought, because I'd beaten reporters, I'd beaten, people in hockey. Everybody, 100K guys took swings at me. I mean, look, I ended David I ended his career. David is gaming. I ended his career. He was done after me. And nobody had done that before too. Like instead of doing a commentary video, which I wasn't capable of doing at the time, I'm probably not capable of doing it now. I just streamed it and destroyed him.
Who's David is gaming?
David is gaming was somebody that followed me when long before Beta, before I knew Keem, before I knew Leafy was, right? And I stuck up for Tommy and C, right? I really stuck up for Tommy and C in a way that I probably wouldn't now, because I guess I thought the internet was a little smaller. I don't think I really grasped. I was a normie. So I thought it was kind of fucked up to pick on the autistic guy. I didn't realize like that Tommy kind of put himself in a position to be made fun of, and by no fault of his own, kind of made bad decisions to do that. So I kind of I spoke out, and David followed me. So fast forward like 6 months later, And then Key makes that video on Tommy NC saying he's lying about being autistic.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
That's when I started to follow you.
Yeah. That was more of a moment than Baited in some sense. And I was still doing hockey then. And he when they announced Baited, you're a traitor and I'm gonna ruin you. And he said that I'm gonna SWAT you. I mean, we had to call the cops to let him know, like, don't come here if we had to call from Scotland.
Do they even have guns in that country? They have cops?
What? Yes, they do. They're
they do?
More, yeah, they're a little more Americanized, I guess.
It's kind of ironic you defended an autistic guy when you hate Bo Black so much.
Well, he's not anywhere near as annoying, you know.
Speaking of Bo Blacks, since you brought up Emery before, do you remember how you were like, oh fuck, Bo Black is going to make a Twitterverses, and I'm like, nah, Tommy, I don't think he's going to do that. He's on vacation.
I told you he was going to do it. I told you.
It was just like, boom.
He had every right to do it, but you didn't think it's like, oh no, you're on good terms with him. That doesn't matter to someone like Bo Black. You fucking nuts. Yeah, that's one of those times you needed to be ignored. You know? Yeah. Like I would even say, like, you know, like even if he does, like, yeah, fair game. You know, I
think you should ignore Matt all of the time. You'll be happy.
Then I'd be the same position I was in January 2017 if I ignored Matt. You know, I don't know that I've ever ignored Matt and regretted it. You know, that time is the time when was with Ralph and Ian Miles Chung.
Yeah.
And I went at stream, and that was probably the closest I came to really fucking. And I remember Baring was in there, and then Nick, who wasn't, I don't know, had more than 100 subs, said, if you don't go out now and face this head on and put Ralph on, because Ralph's like, I want to come in and talk after that situation, you are going to lose your career. And that's how Blade is like, no, I don't want to talk to him. Fuck him. Because people, like, I was about, like, I was going to do what I always tell people not to do is argue nuance. And I was going to do that, and that's how I was going to bail myself out, and that was just going to make it worse. It was going to end up like Crowd Tea or Monday Mad or anything else. And they were like, no, you got to face this head on. And it turned out to be like, yeah, I saved myself. That was probably the closest I ever came to like actually getting like fucking ended.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, Nick kind of came to the rescue because I knew to listen to him at that point, you know, and I've also known when to ignore him too.
Yeah.
You know,
for context, you backed Ian Miles Chung during his fight with Worski, and it would turn out that he was actually like doxing.
He was doing well. The first thing they accused him of, and I wonder if they were smart enough to hold the first thing they accused him of was like horse shit. There's like no way to say one way, but they had the rest of it, and I had already backed Chung, and then the rest of it came out. And I'll never forget this because this is a little known fact. And Nick backed him too, right? And then he's going through it. It's like there's new stuff out, and we're in the Discord together. And Nick says, "Oh my God, he's a doxer. We're fucked. We're fucked." And I remember saying to him, "No, I'm fucked. You're fine." And that's exactly. He was pretty much fine from the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that rattled my cage, and I really can't think of anything since that rattled my cage more than that. And that my friend Beavers is when I downshifted in 2018. Prior to that, not at all. Not at all. I was too crazy to know when to do it and when not to do it. That was the point where I didn't pick a fight. Like anybody said anything cross to me on Twitter, like, you know, I picked a fight with them. I don't do that anymore. I only pick a fight when I think I can make something of it. And I'll be honest, make myself look good, or make myself look by saying something amusing or clever. That's it. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I think what I was more referring to is that maybe back then that wasn't. I mean, for growth or whatever, that was like the best thing to do. But I feel like you've cultivated an audience over the years. You have like a really like core fan base, right?
Yes.
That like your show, and regardless of what you say, and even I've been around forever. You've had. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember them, but I can remember times. Being like, oh my God, Tommy, that's such a shit take. Oh my God, that's such a shit take. But I still tune in the next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they support him regardless until he goes after their guy, and then they don't.
That's really what it is when it comes. Like, I don't think if anything saved me of that, and it's because it's a sincere belief and not a bullshit one. I always try to make takes like a serious take, like as on the level as possible. But it appears that I'm taking more chances than I am because I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I know people. But I never presented myself as somebody that's infallible, and I think that's what a lot of YouTubers do, especially and they get in the most trouble too because people get sick of the fucking act, like the pearl clutchers. They present themselves as infallible people. I've never presented myself that way. Not for a minute. I presented myself as pretty fucking average intelligence and, maybe somebody who's been around the block a little bit and I'll put my own personal experience. So yeah, if I also, whatever shit take I had, and I'm sure I had one, I'm absolutely sure of it. What did I get terribly wrong? The only stuff that I can think I got terribly wrong is giving my people that I like the benefit of the doubt. Illuminati, Ian Miles Chung, stuff like that. As far as like getting something wrong, it's like it's either you disagree with me because you don't agree where I'm coming from, so it's just a matter of you disagree and you agree and I disagree, or vice versa. But when did I get something? And maybe this is me presenting myself as infallible. When did I get something so brutally fucking wrong? And the only times I can think of, I probably realized it either within that minute, within that show, or the very next day. Like I did suggest one time going after what's his name? Sponsors.
I'm Alex.
Alex, yes. And it took me 24 hours to realize, oh my God, I'm asking for problems. And not only that, I've argued against this before. I just thought this was different. And it was because he's destroying people. He's hurting people with his constant, allegations. Because he tried to get back in the allegation business, even as recently as, I want to say, like, he put out a video that me and Nick were laughing at. He was going after some YouTuber that done something horrible or something like that. And me and Nick were laughing. It's like, how can anybody take this seriously? And Nick goes, well, the problem in this case, he's 100% correct. So he's tried to get back into that business and he presented himself. That's what really ate him a lot, at the end. So I think that's why I'm wearing like people aren't listening to me to get some kind of insight. They maybe listen to me just to get a laugh or maybe make their day go easier or something along those lines. If it's any deeper than that, then it is legitimately parasocial. And I don't feel responsible for the decisions they make or when they get disappointed when I get to their guy as who said that? Was it Toxic or it was Mitch? Like when I get to their guy, I know I'm going to get to their guy eventually, and they're going to go away for a while and maybe come back. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to do what I think we're kind of doing with a lolcow to some extent, but we stopped. Is I don't check the comments as far as gearing my content. I check my comments to see if there's a legitimate criticism, and I think about it, and I dismiss it or take it. You suck is not enough. You're boring. You're terrible. You're a boomer. It has nothing. It has zero effect on me. Somebody wrote something the other day, and they said that this is legitimate criticism. I disagree with it. That I fucked up, and they somehow blamed you, Matt. This is like taking Clown's advice and paywalling the server, which was probably the best thing I fucking did because I couldn't expect people to work for free to moderate it because it'd gotten so out of control. And at the same
gangs
time,
running around in there.
Yeah, well, you have and by paywalling the server, it made it less cool because there's not people doing edgy stuff. But the problem with the people doing edgy stuff chase all the new people out.
Yeah.
So if you're paying for it, it's fucking worth something. And yes, there's less activity, but I don't have to get. How many dramas have I had since I paid the bullet? One.
I gotta be honest with you. I kind of disagree. When we paywalled that server, there was a lot of fucking drama. There's a lot in there.
Not that it fell on the show, but prior to that, it fell on the show. It was my responsibility. Yeah. Somebody got harassed in DMs. Now I can say, "Oh fuck yeah, that's your problem. Yeah. That's not mine." There's a block.
Yeah,
button.
that is like people in the. Even you complain about that, Matt. With when we paywall, that people they'll come and they'll complain to you.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the reasons that we paywalled, was because we were sick of people coming and complaining.
Yes. Well, the thing is, people probably complain more with the paywalling and stuff like that. But I mean, it becomes a choice. Like it becomes your choice whether you want to get involved in that. And I can't afford to pay you guys to moderate. And I don't make that much money. And I'm not interested. And did you have any idea? Like, Beavers, you might know how many dramas on Discord that I had to get directly involved with and make I mean, I don't got time for that. It's taken away from like being creator and doing whatever it is I do, or getting inspiration, like just surfing the web or having a VC. That's where I get it, and then I take that, whatever it is, during the day, because I don't really write anything, and then I try to do a show over it. Yeah. And so if I'm like, are you writing Katie and telling her she's a filthy Scottish whore, and I'm mitigating that, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, so somebody complained about it, blame Matt, even though it was Clown's fault, blame Clown too. And I wrote him back and I said, look, it's not like we don't give anything back over there. We do the after shows. I do the meetups. For a while, I was like playing DJ on the weekend. I'm in there. I do stuff with it. And so you do get something back. And I do something that I'd never done before. You get anywhere from a 30-minute to an hour to multi-hour after shows. I don't think I can give more than that. I don't think I don't have it, being a dad. And I think that's a lot. And if somebody can give me a better idea, I'd do it. And I said I was respectful to that person, and I wrote them back, and they were like, look, I wasn't really climbing on you. I just missed the old thing. And you know what? I do too. But the problem is that takes me away from what I need to be doing.
Well, the thing about it is that the Discord server, and I think this becomes a problem when you're larger, like Now Recording would have this problem, but it's when you're a larger creator and you have a lot of people, new people showing up in your Discord all the time. Your Discord almost becomes a completely different ecosystem to your show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then
like
there's the
Tommy
whole,
lost control of his. I mean, I was there. I was part of the problem back in the day because I was a lot younger or whatever.
But there's also
I hung out with the people that were the problem.
But there's also like the new fag syndrome. Oh, new fag. Let's fuck with him.
Yeah.
Well, this is a business. You don't get to fuck when you tell my fans to fuck off. Fuck you.
Yeah, there were so many situations like that. Yeah. Someone would pop in and then get scared off by like Katie or other people, So
but Katie's cheap, and so are most trolls.
Yeah.
So,
but I will say, I will say, if there was no such thing as a paid server, Now Recording wouldn't be here right now. Like our podcast exists because of the paid server, because of the stages, and then we would Beavers, Toxic kind of got to know each other more. We all started hanging out with each other, and we started a podcast together. That's how that's the transition.
That's how I got going. Yeah. And I think your podcast is more integrated with what's going on in the server, and that's not what I ever wanted to do.
Right.
I do not. I want that to be separate from what I'm doing online, whether it's editing some quick clip or doing a fucking a commentary video where I rip off Mudahar and Critical. And the rare occasion that I do that, I want that separate from what I do.
Yeah, and I think I noticed there's this new streamer called JStock. He's like a Destiny orbiter. He's really been growing because he has Destiny on a lot. He's been doing a lot of like Discord oriented drama because he has like an NSFW text channel, and so there's like dick pic dramas and all this shit, and he's doing it on stream, and it's such a bad idea.
I've always had it. I know NSFW policy. I just because I knew that's where it would go. Yeah, I don't want to be talking to a girl and said you need like, and people will do this. They'll make demands like you get rid of this person, or I'm basically gonna tell everybody that you made me see a dick pic or something like that. And I knew that's eventually what would happen, and it did. Shocking. So. Like I don't want to deal with that. That's not what I signed up for. If that's what you signed up for, go at it. But it's not me. So I have no regrets about Paywalling the Server at all. It really lets me know who's like. There's a lot of people that are really loyal that wouldn't come in the server for this, that, and the reason. And I'm sure it chases a few loyal people out. But I think now I know who's in it to win it. Now I know. Now I know what it's all about. Now I know it's about, because like when you guys probably had this problem before too. Like you get people, you create a community, and people are trying to like hone in on what you're doing, or or get something out or steal some clout from you when you're not giving it out or not promoting somebody. They,
we don't have any.
They form little
Yes, we do.
they form communities and stuff like that. And I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. No, that's it. No, I don't want to do that. And that's where it ends.
Mitch, you'd be surprised, man. People think we have clout. I'm telling you, like, you just haven't been around for a while, all right?
If you have retard
half the battle
fighting, you have clout.
Yeah,
I mean, if they like it or not, hierarchies exist whether you like it or not, and they will, and socially they exist, and it's just the way people are, and it's stupid and it's dumb, but there's no other way it works, so it's just going to naturally form, and I don't want to deal with it.
And try to sit in a VC with Matt in the now recording server here in the what do we call it, the rechat or whatever, whatever, and sitting there and they're like, hey Matt, what are you doing? Hey Matt, what do you think of this? Hey Matt.
That's why I stopped. I don't use Discord anymore. I literally the only people I talk to on Discord are the people on this podcast for the most part, because I hate going into it's not. I've always said it sounds a little bit egotistical, right? But it never used to have, like, Matt can confirm, right? When me, Matt, Toxic, we were never big talkers in the Discord. We would talk amongst ourselves. We would mostly listen to what was going on. And then you get into the situation where if you go join a VC, suddenly everybody's like, hey, Beavers, how you doing? And then what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
They want to be your friend. And, I like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens is what they don't realize is there's 10 other people that are doing the same thing. And if you were to do all this, you would spend all your time socializing and not getting anything done. Or like, I don't know about you guys, but I come on the internet sometimes to enjoy myself for whatever reason. I'm turning on a football game right now that's taking place in New England. So like I only want to be around people that I know when I'm doing that. I don't want, like, if I'm watching like football or I'm watching a video, I don't want a person that I don't know coming in and then bring up like, I think Boogie's a real fucking fake, that like, you gotcha. I'm watching the game.
I know another guest on Locale for you.
Like, and if I do want to have a conversation like that, if somebody wants to come in and change the subject of what we're doing, I want it to be somebody I know. It's a matter of, it's not like, I'm better than other people. It's just, I want to, I'm here to be comfortable now. I'm here to chill out. I'm chill the fuck out. But at the same time, like, my DMs are open on Twitter. I do try to answer everything unless I don't answer one word stuff. Like, I don't answer hi. Like, that's bye, goodbye. But I try to answer every fucking question that I ever get, especially in DMs. And I do have to be a little bit careful. And my words are short because I don't know you and I want you to be a fan. But at the same time, I don't know if I can have a friendship because I have 2 children and I have to be somewhere and I have to get the show up and what have you. But I also want to give as much time as possible as I can and still stay sane. And it's funny, nobody ever thinks they're the crazy, annoying one. It's always the other guy. And, that's it. But I do want people to reach out. I do want people to make fan art. I do want people to talk to me, but I do also want to do it on my terms so I can bail out. I don't know how many meetups and stuff I've done online where I'm just getting bombarded. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why does nobody say cool off or leave Tommy alone? Or my favorite is I'm asked a question, hey, Tommy, what do you think of this? And somebody answers a question for me. And then they have a conversation, which spawns another conversation, which spawns a fight. And I realize I've been asked a question. And then I gotta go, goodbye, Yeah. So that's it. That's fuck Discord. I want to talk about Discord.
Well, I get. Well, I did want to say one thing. But we're talking about the clout thing. We've noticed as we've grown, there has been people that were kind of friendly to us that would try to try to make a move on us. We've had situations like that.
It happens at every level.
Yeah.
I saw it when I don't know. Happens at every level. So you really got to be. This clout has value, like literally it has real world value, has money value. But what it does do, what I learned when I talked to who's that jackass with the that got canceled, poor bastard, Andy Signore. I was shocked to find out that I thought the girl did it to get his job. No, it was just to get likes on Twitter. And I was confused when he said that to me. I was like, what are you talking about? Like no, she wanted the admiration. To her, that was currency. That was value, right? That's what she wanted. And she's a psychopath. She didn't care that it destroyed somebody's fucking life. She didn't care that a rape allegation that was completely untrue. But what was more important to her is having that attention. So that's another thing I don't do. I don't undervalue how people see even the smallest of creators. If you have an audience, somebody wants to take it from you.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to take it from you. So, if you can sit around, like, you guys have been together over pushing 2 years now. The fact that you guys, you've had some problems, but the fact that you haven't had a blowout or a backstab is really a testament to all of you.
Right.
Maybe you had a small blowout that got fixed over time, but the fact that you guys, you really should value that, because Matt, like all these creators, and the higher up the ladder that they go, the sneakier they are. And if you can have a Nick, or you can have somebody, and friends are going to fight and they're going to do those types of things. You got to value it. But the problem is,
I love you, Matt.
Yeah, the problem is sometimes you feel that, well, like the way I feel about Matt, right?
Yeah.
If I put that on the wrong person, that's what really bites you in the ass. But I've gotten pretty good at that, and I've made that mistake before. Look at Illuminati.
Trusting the wrong people. Yeah.
You mentioned Illuminati, right? I don't know how you didn't see that coming from a fucking mile away. That woman, she was. I hated her from the very beginning when she joined, and I remember everybody I can understand, that you didn't want to trust the people in your community.
Nobody told me she was no good. Nobody.
And I told you she was no good.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you're nobody. No, I'm just kidding.
Did she tell the poop story while she was part of SFTP?
No, I realized
that should have been the red flag.
She behaved very differently or she had as many subs. She behaved very different around me than you guys. She acted like a snob and acted like she's better than everybody. The first indication I had of that is when they met Real Talk and Sammy told me about her. That was the first indication that I knew. I was like, wow, that's strange. And I chalked it up to, well, maybe she's meeting people for the first time and she was uncomfortable. And sometimes people do that. Like when they're uncomfortable, then they try to act better than the people that they're with because they're afraid at some level. So I just like, well, if this is isolated. So no, I didn't.
Maybe that is true. Maybe I didn't tell you.
I don't think you did. I don't think you did.
Do you remember?
In fairness, I might not have believed it. I might not have believed it.
Wouldn't have listened to you.
I started hearing things. So Real Talk told me, and his girlfriend told me, and I'm like, well, that's not a good sign. And then after that, like we were starting to move apart until the whole Rico situation, and then she starts like, you got to understand something. When I got a call from her, and she was coming to complain about what Vault said, I had never been spoken by her or anybody that way, especially on YouTube, for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So again, like I got the clout. The clout side they're not nasty to you right away. They're nasty to you when they can afford it. And if you look at her career and her right, that's exactly what she did to like countless other people.
And then she overplayed it with that copyright.
She kept winning, so she didn't think she could be.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
the only other indication I had was, who was that guy? The other YouTuber that was competing with her. And the only one
r/.
Who sniffed it out, but he wouldn't say anything, and probably because I wouldn't have believed it. Was Verse. Verse sniffed it out. Yeah, it was the r/ thing. And then we basically put on the table is like, look, we'll go to war for you, but if this guy's as bad as you're saying, which I don't think it was, and he's willing to dox your family because we sort of bought that at the time, you got a whole shitload coming. And then she says, no, I want out. I'm tapping out. I'm going, oh, so okay, because it's done and this conversation never happened, and we're going on our way. And what I realize now was, and Nick definitely would have found it, right? Because Nick already had the Keemstar for his belt. She stopped us before we figured out that she was the problem.
Yeah, well, do you remember though? Like, I don't know if how much of this conversation can be said, but do you remember she was going to go after Keem at one point, and she was going to say, and she was like threatening a lawsuit against him for calling her
we told her
or something.
We told her it was ridiculous. I just said, I remember saying, like, look, if you want to do this, that's fine, but you're not going to win. You know, you're not going to win. And she's only calling you a whore because you're with me, and that's just the breaks. Turkey Tom got discovered. He made a phone call, and the whole Tom's not a turkey is Keem got pissed off that he called me, and so he just decided to pick on him. He probably was mad at me. You know, that you're not even a real turkey, which really that got Tom going. You know, when I say I'm responsible for Tom's career, it's not nothing that I did for him. It's just it's too much of a coincidence that you get like not even 1,000 sub YouTuber, and all of a sudden he calls into my show once or twice, and 24 hours later you're not even a real turkey. So you knew that had something to do.
That's
with
an interesting point, though, Tommy. Turkey Tom, Bo Blacks, Nicholas Diorio, Augie RFC, all shot from the point fans, all used to hang out in the Discord servers, all that stuff. Were able to get their Nick joins the news team. They're able to grow their own platforms. How was that to see like these guys like become bigger than you? You know,
well, it was always my goal because when I realized that it was over for me for Baited as far as like that climb to the I was like a Champions League soccer player that realized my life was going to be I'm going to finish my career in the second league. Right. I'm going to have a career. I'm going to pay the bills. But I'm never, ever going to play against Messi again. You know, that's pretty much what happened. So and I just said, I'm going to make the best of it. And it was always my hope because I knew I was never going to make enough money to like actually pay anybody anything. It was always my hope that I could be, I forget what's the word for it? Somebody who finds talent.
A manager, a scout,
hunter.
No. It's a more fancy French word. I forget. You know, I kind of saw myself.
Bagoot?
No.
Did you guys just say the F slur? What the fuck?
No.
I said baguette. He said.
Well, Toxic dressed it up. You just straight up said it.
And then somebody mentor. No, mentor never. No mentor. But you know, somebody could find talent. I suppose I forget what the name for it is. It's kind of a fancy word.
Agent.
No, agent.
You just said it's like a fancy French.
Yeah, exactly. Agent.
It's scout, Tommy. You see, it's scout.
Yeah, it's scout. No, I guess, and the part of it was revenge. You know, because you know, I was kind of looking for talent for people that could go after
fuck up
him.
Keem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did it. But at the same time, that's not the goal I had with you.
Yeah,
I thought best for you is have somebody supportive and in there and in the ground as Doc. I got that, and then I got more, you know, with you. So that's the way that went. And in a weird roundabout way, I was proud about Illuminati. You know, Willie Mack, I mean, although he definitely built everything himself, as most of these guys we're talking about did, I'm sure it didn't hurt coming on. I'm sure it didn't hurt James Marriott. I heard somebody say it was an insult. It was one of my fights with Keem. It goes like somebody, right? Who's Tommy? Tommy sees the guy that you step over to go to the next level. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's a really nice compliment. That's I'm a development league. I'm like the MLS, you know? So yeah, like, how does that make me feel? Proud, I guess. Does it suck that I didn't get a piece of that? Yes, but I knew that was going to be the case. So I got the best case scenario. Still here, still paying bills. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with Crimson Studios and John Scream?
Crimson Studios, no. Not at all. I don't think we ended our relationship quite well, but I kept it out of the public, which was difficult for me to do back in those days. But I knew you can't make everything public when you have a problem with somebody. Although I don't wish anything bad on him, he wasn't very responsible. That's my biggest complaint with him. What was the other? Who else?
John Scream.
Scream got busy at work, so that if John called me tomorrow, I'd put him on tomorrow. You know, that's how much respect I had for him and of his talent. And you know, that's like everybody did come through me didn't become famous or famous like James Marriott or influential like Nick. Not everybody did that. But yeah, it's a nice thing that this is where you go through. You know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's a Hollywood sort of equivalent. There probably is, or a radio equivalent of, he used to be on, Opie and Anthony, or he used to be on the Stern Show, and then he went here and there and everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I guess I would complain about the Stern Show. There was damn few of those guys that went on and had like raging careers after Stern. It almost seemed like he didn't want them to succeed.
Right.
The only few I can think of is like Stuttering John a little bit for like a second, or he already ruined it. And then Billy West, who kind of had the talent to begin with. Those are the only guys that went on and just like absolutely killed it. Everybody else were like me, just kind of got through.
It's like maybe Artie Lang, but he was always
Artie was on. Artie's a good example too, but Artie sandbagged himself. So there's nobody that maintained except for Billy West, I think.
Mm-hmm. And for those in the audience, Crimson Studios and John Scream used to be a part of Tommy's project Shot from the Point News. So I just wanted to give context. Get to the point.
The actual talented ones, unlike that Illuminati bitch.
No, they were talented.
Illuminati was not talented. I don't care what you say.
You didn't.
I fucking got blocked. I got blocked by her after the first episode because I DM'd her and I called her a talentless bitch. And then she blocked me and everything.
Well,
that'll do it. I think.
You kind of asked for it.
What'd you expect? Stupid. Is that the moment she knew she was a backstabbing cunt? I mean,
you know how I got blocked by?
It was because it was just, you know what the thing with Illuminati was, and this is why the sentiment of your community was like against her.
She's a woman.
No, we could sense that she was that type of person that can throw out a punch, but she can't take a punch.
That's true,
right? Like we
I said it, but with less syllables.
But admittingly, I mean, she played a SJW character, and people were really believing her. Literally, it was like, oh God, it made me think of that one parody magazine that just quit because there's nothing left. You can't parody anything because people take you literally all the time. I forget I saw it on Tim Pool's show once, and I thought I had a really good idea for Get to the Point, but
you did. I loved it when you started it because
it's not a good idea.
It was like Colbert Report.
The culture changed though, because I got people telling me John Scares isn't gay, and if he was gay, he wouldn't be with Tommy C. Like unironically. So after I should have known it was over as soon as that happened.
It's not the right fan base.
No.
Yeah, but
the audience.
That's part of the fun with doing stuff like that.
The problem is that fan base is normies. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. People that like watch Colbert and stuff, they're not watching fucking Keemstar and fucking. So in that sense, it was a good idea, but the audience wasn't there for it. But I don't have that kind of insight about social media. I didn't grow up with it. The stuff that I base what I wanted to do is basically normie stuff because I don't know how to do anything else. So if I was more talented, then I'd probably start a fucking lie to you all and tell you I'm starting a network. And open a Patreon and hide how much money I'm making from it. Good idea. Let's go hunt pedophiles.
Like DeFranco, or like DeFranco. Yeah, I was actually talking about DeFranco.
Whatever happened to DeFranco's network just didn't happen.
It never was. It was a scam. And there's something I got wrong. There's something I kind of went against Kavos on that. He turned out to be 100% correct.
I thought you were against DeFranco and Dave was pro DeFranco.
Dave lasted longer than I did.
Tommy backed it for a little bit in the beginning, but he turned.
Yes,
Tommy turned relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No content was made, and because I said if nothing comes up in a year, then it's a scam.
Yeah,
and it did. So I was like, okay, I was wrong. It's a scam. And Dave, for whatever reason, just saw it. Saw it through.
Oh, he might be still working. You never know. He's not like he's Fox News or anything.
I don't know that Dave doesn't think it was a scam. Now, wow, he started this on the show. I was like, no, it was a scam. And you know what? I think back of it now. There was a video he put out. I wish I could do. He does this weird thing with his shoulder, like he was frustrated, and he shows it in the clip, like, oh, damn it, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, right? And then he cuts back, like, look, I'm having a really hard time. I'm going to end this video right now, blah, blah, blah. That was a setup. And 3 months later, guess what, guys? I have new life. That was it. The last thing you saw of Phil DeFranco if he was having some kind of meltdown. He was acting. And I felt for him. He was like, why would you leave that cut in? He was like, yeah, and I'm Phil DeFranco. And God damn, oh my God. I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, like, oh, wow, Phil's really going through a hard time. Like, I felt for that. I'm such an idiot. And I think a lot of other people did too. He's probably, I bet he made fucking $5 to $10 million off of it.
Man's smart. He's been relevant for almost 20 years.
No, he
now.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he was
I stopped watching him. I stopped watching him.
I stopped watching him when he started getting TDS. And prior to that, I enjoyed his stuff. Yeah.
What's TDS? What do you mean?
Trump derangement syndrome. That was the end.
He started becoming like he used to be like a neutral, not neutral. He was always a little bit left leg.
He was a libertarian. Right? No, he was a libertarian. Yeah. He was like a libertarian.
He went full blown fucking woke asshole.
He's completely a lefty now, right?
Yeah.
He used to be the type of guy that was a little bit to the left. He was more inclined to, but he could still joke about it.
He
could still joke about it.
Can't joke about Donald Trump. Can't joke about Donald Trump. That guy's trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
You know, that's really
he used to put titties on the thumbnail too. I remember that. That's how.
When was that? Was that like late 2000s? Because everyone was fucking doing that.
Yeah. 2009, 2010. Yeah.
I knew a guy who made cooking videos. He did that, and that's how we got a fucking 100,000 subs in like 2010.
Yeah.
Tommy was wrong for trying to help Flamenco. Yes, you win. Thank you. You win nothing. Nothing, Wookie.
God, that was a miserable person to.
I did not do that to fucking spite Nick. I really did. Mm-hmm. I did that because I knew where he was going. I wasn't as familiar with what kind of asshole he was, and I thought stupidly. I didn't realize just how retarded he was.
I think the problem you didn't watch a lot of After Hours. I knew from the jump.
Yeah. This guy's retarded. I'm in a call with him, and it's like, look, this is how you handle this. And he is arguing with me instead of trying to come up with a plan. He fought me on every point I made, and then finished it off with, look, I really don't need Augie. I was like, oh, you don't? Like, the only reason you have any. That's not true. I did this. No, the only reason anybody knows you is because Augie took you from Ralph. That's it. That's the end of it. So the sooner you come to those that reality, and that's the truth. And he's like, I don't know. I go, watch this. It's easy. And this is exactly what it did. Keemstar fucking made me. I have nothing without Keemstar. See how easy that was?
Yeah.
See how easy that was? But he couldn't get that, and that's why he's fucked. You know?
Right.
Helping Salvo was worse. No, I'll defend that. Here's what I'll do. While I didn't realize how crazy it was, and you can criticize me on all you want for that, I and Matt felt that this community was getting way too serious, way too hung up on sexual assault stuff. Still is. It wasn't funny. It was never fucking funny. And it was just getting serious and overly serious and redundant. And most of the people that were handling were not equipped. I was right about that. What I wasn't right about is Salvo was not the guy. He was talented, but he was nuts. So I don't know if I ever back Salvo or help Salvo any more than I helped anybody else. But yeah, as soon as I realized, like, he's going after Dave and he's going after this, and everything to him is just destroying somebody else. It's not really about comedy or making people laugh. Then yeah, I fucking completely backed off. But I don't think anybody fixed that quicker than I did.
What about Tipster? What's your opinion on everything that went on with Tipster and all that's like
recently or just overall?
Well, no, because if you think about it, like you were like one of the guys who was like, fuck this guy back in the day, right? Because of what he did to you. And everything kind of calmed down, and then now
everybody else is having the same problems I'm having when they find out what you want to talk about Vindicated.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know if anybody. I've said this before. I'm sure Nick's heard me say this before. There was a part of me, even though he was 100% wrong, that thought, good. I'm glad you're feeling what I felt back then, right? Mm-hmm. That I was kind of right. And there's the other part of me is like, now I have to hate him like everybody else. I've already spent this energy, and I didn't get any kind of sort of it wasn't worth it. So why should I get mad at him now?
Yeah.
It's like a girl that steals a guy away from a husband away from a wife, and then are surprised they kind of cheat on him. And I was like that. It's fucked up. He cheated. We're still friends. I still back you. But I'm not going to act surprised. that's kind of the way I felt about the whole thing. And either is me and Tipster made up. So like, what do you want me to do?
Are y'all cool now since you pulled him into like the lolcow live group chat?
I don't think so. I think I've probably lost some Tipster points. I've gotten soft blocked, but I really don't care about that either because I know who Tipster is.
Yeah,
Tipster's everything Nick and fucking Boback and they told him was, and I was fine with him. And so our relationship was talking about arcade stuff and occasionally touching base on this, that, or the other thing. He never took anybody's advice. He never. Like one of the reasons that Matt and Nick, and it's righteous too, and all those guys, because they cared about him. And he had what, and this I didn't see coming. Tipster saw us and probably still doesn't, probably sees couples much the same way, as there's no real friends on the internet and everybody's just for content. And if you have to cut bait and run, then you do it. If it's because he tried to do it to me and run into the alt-right's arms. And then he tried to do it and run to the far left's arms. So to me, it was like, all right, that's what happens. I wasn't happy that Nick and Augie were treated like that. They certainly didn't deserve it with all the nice things they did for him. But in some sense, I was not told directly, like, "Oh, calm down, let it go." But it's not like anybody was like breaking off with him. Say, "I'm done with that motherfucker." After what he did to Tommy. I know Tommy was good to him. I know Tommy was nice to him. And then he's making public proclamations like, sometimes friendships, this is what he wrote, sometimes friendships just kind of melt away. And the reason he said that is because, like I had, Tonka's guys going after me and Tonka was hot at the time. That's not a friend.
Right.
That's not a friend. And it's not like Nick backed me. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like anybody said, fuck that guy. No, they worked with him,
Yeah.
And then I just it's not going to do me any good to fucking hold a grudge. I'm just not going to have any friends. I'd rather tolerate him and be okay with him than be angry. Because if you're angry, you're already giving somebody too much of your fucking energy anyway. So I found a way to do that. So when he did fuck up and fuck off, I wasn't terribly upset about it. Because nobody was terribly upset about me. So I handle it the way I handle it. And I've talked if I had to say anything to Tipster, you did have real friends and you fucked it up. There you go. Because they care. I've talked to them. I know how they feel. And they no guy's gonna come out and say, I was hurt. They were hurt. Now they didn't say, oh man, Tipster hurt my. Nobody said that to me. But I could tell. They were hurt. They were hurt because you're a backstabber. You always were and you always will be.
Yeah.
And you can't help it because this clout thing or whatever it is you're doing or whatever it is you're trying to achieve is more important to you than being seen as, a stand-up guy or a genuine person. I think with him, it's like, I don't think he seriously believes he's going to be the next big thing. But he has to get his dopamine somewhere. And we're talking about a guy that used to pick fights with furries and shit, knowing damn well he'd get banned. Oh, I keep getting banned. It's a free speech problem. Well, stop pick and fight with all these sex degenerates. He would pick a sex degenerate like Maps, and they don't get his ban. He loses Twitter. Remember Twitters he went through?
Yeah, he went through a lot.
Yeah, he went through a lot because he would just and he'd get it back and he'd pick it and you would be like, don't do that, and you won't have that problem. Yeah,
he can't help himself. Yeah,
no, he can't help himself.
That's the Lolly thing.
This whole recent situation.
I think he just wants that. I think he just wants that dopamine. He just wants that dopamine rush from being
so
right
bad,
something, from owning
and
something.
It's more ways to get what's creepy about it is it's more important than any kind of relationship he has. And that's the most strangest thing about Tipster. I'm not going to sit there and say like every interaction with him. I did enjoy his company sometimes. I did know when I was with him that he was a fraud. And I just, I remember this guy's name was a security guard I knew. He's probably dead now. His name was Foster. And I was bitching about our boss. And I was like, you don't realize that he's a scumbag? He's like, yeah. Then why did you say you play cards with him? He goes, because there's guys you play cards with and there's guys you have drinks with. And I'm like, I just couldn't get my head around. If someone's bad, if someone's irredeemable, then they're irredeemable. There's no in between. And as I got older, I realized there's people you put on this side of the card and there's people you put on that side of the card, because if you're being self-righteous and super duper principled, all you're going to do is be at war all the time. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I just didn't see much of a reason to go after Tipster. And, it wasn't like, Matt could back me up. It wasn't like I was easy on him. I called it like I saw it, but I just didn't get real emotional about it.
Yeah. What's your opinion on how Tipster's changed his personality to like more left leaning? He calls people bigots.
I don't think he has people are Nazis. I don't think he doesn't have a personality. He's just regurgitating what everything's the same thing he did with us. Yeah. And Tipster's a glass of water. Whatever the shape of the glass is, he will take that form.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's and I've always known that. So there's no change. He's like his personality is the same.
Yeah.
It's just a different glass.
Yeah, no, it's like there was we did a live stream and we saw a clip of Tipster literally defend back when Turkey Tom did that video with the Jew and he had some Jewish propaganda on there about the Israel was it the submarine or something. It was a lot of like memes on that, and he'd be like, "Shalom, my brothers." Tipster did a video on Twitter back in the day defending it, and now when Keffels used that video to attack Turkey Tom, Tipster is now up Keffels' ass, being like, "Yeah, that was a."
Well, I guess you proved my point. I proved my point. He doesn't care.
This is like a social floater through life, right? Which is all well and good, like when you were in high school and everybody was a metalhead, and then there was EDM, and then people would switch. But the problem with Tipster is,
so you're basically saying he's emotionally about 15.
Yeah.
But he doesn't
37
have,
years old.
But here's the problem: there are lots of people like Tipster in the world, right? Spineless, like people that don't really have too much conviction with things. They're just like going about their lives. The problem with Tipster is he's not okay. He's not a trendsetter, right? But when he switches side, he likes to be that, like when there was a really big scary guy in high school, and then like his right-hand man would always be this completely weak, meek, like human being.
I know exactly.
That is Tipster. He switches, but then he wants to be that front guy. He wants to be, but he doesn't have the spine to be the trendsetter himself.
Grover Dill! I'm going to call my dad. Grover Dill.
Yeah.
That's who he is. Instead of being a big, a short, nothing, he's a fat piece of shit.
I've always hated Tipster. I've been enjoying the Tipster hate.
I remember when I first joined the news team, you guys were you were like shitting on Tipster. I don't remember why, but then the cheeseburger meme came out the next day.
I loved that picture.
Yeah, that was Rico. That was Rico.
Yeah, I know Rico did that. But I just don't know why you guys were fighting. Gamer J Lee got involved. Augie got involved somehow. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I forget what Gamer J Lee did exactly. And this is really shitty of me, but the reason we took Gamer J Lee on is I think he was approached by Tipster and them to kind of turn on me, and he told him to go fuck.
Yeah, he screenshotted all the DMs.
You make fun of Gamer J Lee all you want, and he's kind of dorky, and he's got. But let me tell you something about Gamer J Lee. If I had to trust somebody with a secret, or I had to trust somebody that's going to do what they say they're going to do, or as a friend, there is nobody more than Gamer J Lee. And you might think he's a big fucking dork, but that's why he's still around. That's why I still love him. Because when it came down to it, he took, if he would went their way, he could have hooked up with Augie. He could have hooked up that. He could have got his channel going. He didn't. He wouldn't do it. So that's the kind of guy Gamer J Lee is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I tolerated Tipster, and I didn't even hate him. I tolerated Tipster, and I was friends with Gamer J Lee, and I'll probably die friends with friends with Gamer J Lee. I can't see. I'm always going to be an internet person for as long as I'm allowed to be on it and not locked in chains or whatever's coming for us in the next couple of years. So I don't see a time in my life where I do see a time in my life where remember that guy Tipster? I just see that coming. Yeah, remember him?
Yeah. You guys got questions, Beavers, Mitch, Toxic, Core?
I don't have a question. I just have a statement that, I don't know if I've said this years ago to you or not, but your show, I remember first seeing it 2017, it opened this third eye where I knew of live streams at that point, but yours was the first that I'd seen a live stream done where it wasn't a video game. And and I could see what you were doing. It was like a radio show. And then I was like, wait, holy shit, you could do live streams, like a live television show? That's something I'd wanted to do since the 2000s. When we had videotapes and you'd have to capture the videotape to the computer and then edit it. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, yeah.
Well, I always saw it as radio. But I remember on the live stream opposite, you had to have 100 subs. Took me a year to hit that, by the way. And then YouTube used to have an app where you could live stream with, which was terrible. It didn't work. It was awful. You had to download. It was actually an app you put in your PC. And that's when I ran into Joe Cronin. And Joe Cronin is like, get XSplit. That's what I use.
And you never stopped.
I wish you would. I have paid for it. I'm glad I don't. The problems I've had is with my PC. It's obvious. I had to. My PC went fucking nuts before I was playing. It gets too hot. It's just a really bad game.
What is wrong with OBS? But what is like?
What's so wrong with OBS is like. So let's see. I do Glory Hunters, which is a hobby and fun. I do my game streams on OBS, and I do things. So I have to make like with this is something I can't do with OBS, or at least I don't know enough about it. So if you open OBS now, then you have all the different camera angles for the game streams and stuff like that, right?
Right. You can have different collections.
I can open up a different thing, and then I'll have all the slides and assets for just SFTP.
Yes, you could do that.
Yeah, OBS has that.
Yeah, well, I don't know about it, and nobody showed me. So, and XSplit was easy to figure out. So
that was the boomerest reason to use XSplit I've ever heard. It's just got all my settings in it, and I don't know how to change it.
No. It doesn't have just all my settings in it. That's not the settings are not the issue.
It seems is what I mean by settings.
No, the template is the issue. I can't change the template. Fuck off.
Look, Tommy's going to be learning new software.
I hope you get kicked in the balls by a kangaroo. Fuck off.
And that's when you know he's lost the argument.
Hey, how surreal is it to be doing Locale Live and have Keemstar as a boss again, given the whole baited situation?
Well, I've handled it better and I've handled it worse. Last time I was too aggressive. Now I've been under aggressive, and I think my lack of aggression led to some of the. I don't want to clash with Keem. I just want to work. So I didn't say don't do that live stream. Let us get established. Wait for some time for us to get guests. And I think the decisions that Keem made did chase some people away. That being said, we're in it right now. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to play, and I'm really enjoying it. And then we had this meeting, and everybody knows their place. I probably should have been a leader, and I decided not to be a leader because I was afraid any sort of leadership, and that I did show on Baited, so I'm a little gun shy, will be seen as I only care about the money. So when I went to Keem and I said, he was talking about making money, he's like, can you show me how you do this? Can you give me some tips? How do I better look at it? Now I'm coming from the Army where you say something like that. It's like, that's a good boy, soldier. You want to learn. I'm going to teach you. Keem looked at that as this guy's trying to get something from me. And by the way, now that I have like 7 or 8 years experience at this level, I get it.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from. Right. So he thought I was out to get, but like he never met anybody. He never met anybody sincere. Mm-hmm. Teach me. I want to learn. I want to listen. He'd never seen anything like that before. Right. Yeah. And I'm used to being rewarded for that sort of showing ambition outwardly in the military, where I spent the 10 years prior of my life in, was rewarded. Right. Most of the time. Showing ambition on YouTube means you want something. And I get where Keem was coming from to a certain extent. Right. But so now 7 years later, doing this thing, don't want to fuck it up, like the extra money, get the check. Like Keem says he wants to do this. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna make the best of it, Mm-hmm. And I don't get as mad as I was. I was 39 when I did there, and I still had a lot of teenage, more than I would probably admit, as far as not even teenage angst. I don't have angst. I don't get afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. Anger, like legitimate, real, not the fake Tommy C. I'm like yelling at that guy, fuck you today. That's like legitimate anger. Legitimate, I got to get even with you. A lot of that, and when I said hit 40, 41, 42, it just, fuck. I'm really lucky I'm fucking playing video games and talking and getting paid for it. I really gotta don't sweat the small stuff, and because this is what you're going to be doing at this point in your life. You're going to have to find a way to go on YouTube. You're here in Germany. You probably can't go back home. So you got to jump to the next thing, jump to the next thing, jump to the next thing. if you can. So I'm jumping right now, and hopefully I can keep it going for as long as I can, and then hopefully I'll have enough money saved up to retire. I have a retirement fund. Get Tommy through school, and once that happens, I'm done. I'm out of here. I retire.
Yeah.
Period.
You think if you get kicked out of Local Live, you start a podcast called Catch 25?
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I get kicked. I think Local is made by haters for haters. So there's a certain amount of hate there is, and some guy called me. So you were on the show today, and he said, a part of it saying it sucks is a part of the meme, and I think I forgot that to some extent. I think Keem did too. Some of this is the meme. I think he's getting it because I said something like, "Well, look, we could have Mr. Beast on. They want him off, right? They're there to hate all of us, right? I think certainly fucking Boogie and Wings are used to it. Keem doesn't particularly like it, but he's better handling it, and I love it. So I think the more Keem gets used to it. So look, the live streams, like them or hate them, they're drawing a lot of interest, and a lot of the same people are in there every week saying they're never coming back. Some of those people did leave, but they don't write in there. They just leave, and I think we're getting another bounce of subs. So I think it's a good show. It's a train wreck, and that's what you're showing up for. I think the more of a train wreck it is, probably the more the haters will like it down the road. So
I just
whatever.
I just love seeing Boogie try to moral ground stand on things. It's just the greatest thing ever.
It's funny you mentioned that. I've started stopping him on that less because I realize it's an important part of the show that he's got to do it once in a while, and only when he gets really ridiculous do I interrupt him. He's a lot more self-aware though. He'll go look, I know I make this about me, so I'm going to make this about me. So he cuts me off, so I can't say anything. But I also realize too, that's part of the allure. Somebody's got to be the villain. And then, fucking Wings decided to switch roles there for a second.
Yeah, he went from good guy to bad guy real quick.
I think that's what's going to happen. And I don't think he's used to that. He doesn't like being hated.
Yeah. How's that possible? Wasn't he hated for the longest time?
I don't think he ever liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think he liked it when he thought it was convenient. He likes being the anti-hero. He doesn't like being the bad guy.
I saw him as the bad guy when I started coming into commentary because I would see
he sees himself as a cool anti-hero.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've been the bad guy before for sure. But the way I see it, the good comes with the bad. Where Keem would probably get me in an argument though. I mean, he's had a lot more success than I do, and he's had success, checking the comments and the cat chat and adjusting. And my success has been much smaller. Is just be as real as fucking possible, and don't bullshit people unless you're joking. If you're not bullshitting, then don't be a YouTube phony. You can't be a YouTube critic and just as phony as the people you're criticizing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then Keem's had to fucking own a few bad moves over the years, and some of them were turned into memes that eventually benefited him. So I always take I take the good with the bad. You think I lost any sleep over anything, and a situation where I was going to get shit canned, and what did I say to you? I was like, well, if it happened, I'm still playing my game.
Exactly. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing,
and it works. So I'm still there. so I was kind of being a phony to you because I really wanted to stay, but this is the terms that I was going to stay on, and I'm going to do my act. And I think more you keep on last week. I week 1 I hate Tommy. Week 30 it's I hated this guy at first, but and you could go check them. There'll probably be more comments this Sunday.
Yeah. I also think Wings and Boogie are starting to like you a little more.
Yes, I think so too. I don't think Wings ever disliked me. I think Boogie definitely.
I think there was a moment where he was getting annoyed by you. I think at first he actually really liked you, and then there was a moment he was getting annoyed by you because he started bringing up you interrupting him and stuff, and try to own you. I
can't fucking get mad at him. Fair enough.
I just thought. Remember we were talking about Boogie's causing so many issues from this podcast, but I think I said something like the moment Wings does, it's going to be a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it was.
It
was. So I enjoy it. It's a little different now. I'm streaming a little later. doing more lab. I'm switching I have to tell Keem that I'm switching my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm also having my whole weekends off, and I'm way getting more done. My German's suffering a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm feeling.
By the way, let me ask you about that.
Sure.
Right? When are you going to graduate from these German classes?
I have a permanent tutor. Like when do you stop learning English?
I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
The rest of my life I'll be there. I'll always be learning because I'm so far behind. And I don't know if you know this. Like after you turn about 12 or 13, it's harder to learn a language. And then if you do it when in your 30s, it's damn near impossible. So yeah, the rest of my life, there's no graduation. This is not a thing that I'm striving for. This is learning the language so I can function.
See, but you would say I'm going to go do my German homework, and then I'd see you on WoW, and I'm like, well, what the fuck?
I'm not the first guy that did. I ain't the first guy that did that. I haven't played WoW.
It was just really funny.
I haven't played a WoW in a year, and I haven't skipped German. God, that was when the woman thing. That was 2 expansions ago, douchebag. Literally 5 years ago.
I first joined the news team. Cora's over make sure he doesn't play WoW. If he plays WoW, it's over.
Yeah, and I did. I played WoW when Dragon fucking shithead quest came out, and I was fine.
Yeah, you would skip shows just to play WoW, and I'm like, why the fuck are you doing this?
It's fun. You have the game in German.
I like that expansion because it looked like medieval fantasy, and all the stuff that all came after that looked like stupid shit. I might fucking plug WoW in again. I was going to see what's going on.
Good job, Core.
No,
I do. Yeah, I did want to ask you this. You and Nick seem pretty close now.
Yes.
A few years ago, you guys had a really bad falling out that I was involved in. Do you regret the green M&M drama?
In what way?
Do you regret that it happened the way it did?
I always regret. No one wants to fight with somebody they care about.
Yeah. If you could go back, would you have talked to Nick about it beforehand? Try to work it out before doing a live stream?
Probably not. Okay. Definitely not. You know the answer to this. No, because I thought he really, I thought he was, I thought he was a bit unhinged. And if you remember, we had the kind of the argument with him. Their whole argument was, you should have known we weren't going to do what we or no, not we, Nick. You should have known that we weren't going to do. And here's all this evidence. Here's this kind of this is what we've done in the past, and this is what happened. You should have been aware that we weren't, or that I wasn't serious, and I would have never done that under any circumstance. Yeah, and I didn't know that. And I wasn't willing to take that chance because of the overlap and the influence that Nick had. Am I sorry that it happened? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You were there. I mean, me being that ruthless, I didn't want to do that, but I'd stab Nick in the balls and feed him to him. I thought it'd save my kid's life. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about, he's just pissed off and probably going to blow it off, but I don't know that's the case. He's telling me he's going to do it, that he's going to release this thing and paint it in bad light. All I saw was 70 subs and fucking 70 people in my chat. And even when it got hot, because we're pretty much Chop for the Point is pretty much dictated what's going on in the community. Right. So I saw a situation where the next Mama Max thing broke. I can't break 100. That's all I saw, So do I regret it? No. Am I sorry it happened? Did I want to do it? Do I know it wasn't ruthless? No, I did it, but I felt that cornered.
Yeah.
For something that I really didn't do. I didn't mean to disrespect him, and I didn't mean, I was obnoxious talking about politics. There's nothing I did in that conversation that I hadn't done to you or anybody else before. Right. And then, I'm basically, I'm going to take that. I'm going to push it because I knew, I knew at some level, the only thing that made me hesitate was if you put out this not the green M&M was funny. Everybody, because that's what I remember. The green M&M was just Tucker Carlson had this big fit over a green M&M, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what it was. And I was denying that it was as literal as they were explaining. It turns out they were 100% correct. So that's what happened during the stream. But then we got into what the real argument was over like a trans rights shit. And then it was something to the effect of I don't want that. And because I don't want my kids near it. And he said something, well, you want them near science, and then I was like, no, I don't want them near some leftist cultist bullshit. That's what I don't want them near. There's nothing scientific about it. It's just a political ideology. That's what I want my kids here. And look, I'm being ultra generous to myself. That's probably not exactly how I put it or how I said, but it offended him because I'm sure I put it in terms of, and not that I meant this literally, like you're stupid, So he came back because I don't appreciate you telling me that I'm fucking stupid. You can't sit there and tell me I'm smart all the time, which is exactly what fucking Tove said to me, by the way. And then in the same sense, when we get in an argument, you tell me I'm an idiot, right?
Yeah.
I definitely would have apologized for that right on the spot. But that came along is I'm going to release this. And then no, absolutely not. So my plan was get it out before he does, just in case he does it, and shut up.
Yeah.
And take whatever fucking heat he's got for me. I think what happened, this is a guess on my part, he started to miss me. And I missed him too. And he was he wanted a piece of my ass, and I know because I know him. He's as petty as I am. But I also knew what to do. Let him burn out, and then hope for the best down the road. And thankfully that happened.
Well, the thing it caused a massive split, not just with you and Nick, but like Nick interacted with a lot of us. Me and
Tom don't talk as much as we used to. We were talking on a twice a week basis going to that. We and Tom have only talked, I'd say 5 times since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Core and Nick used to would play video games together, and then that had to stop for a while because of the situation. But luckily we got, back. I remember that stream.
I was just saying, do not fucking incite him.
Yeah.
And I think it came up with the Augie mediation, which he did a terrible job, by the way. I always wanted to say that publicly. I think it came up in that thing that he says, well, you didn't, he said something to the effect of you didn't swing at me because you thought I'd fucking end you. And I'm like, yeah, to some aspect, that's right, which is the whole reason I did what I did in the first place. You're not taking my shit away. Yeah. Period. And because I know how this shit works. Right. And you know how this shit works. And know you're bigger than me. And we overlap. So I cut. Right. Mm-hmm. You stew. And I hope for the best. And what was it? 9 months later?
Yeah. Not even that long. Wasn't even that long. January, it happened. By May, you guys are talking.
It took a long time to repair our relationship to where it's back to where it was. Mm-hmm. Right. But I mean, I remember I said probably I needed some distance, which I did. It wasn't based on whether I knew it's what I didn't know. It's not what I did. And I don't regret it, but God, I'm sorry, but I felt like a cornered rat. This is my only income, and I was going to protect it.
Yeah.
That's simple. Mm-hmm. He put me in a really bad spot, and I did something underhanded.
Right.
So, and I'm sorry about that in the sense that this sounds really insincere, but I'm sorry about that in the sense that why would I want to do anything to somebody that basically saved my channel? Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And you saved it and he saved it. A lot of other people have come, and in some sense, Real Talk did too, by pushing me to go in a certain direction besides hockey. I've had I want to fucking be at a war in a situation like that. Never, not in a million years.
Yeah.
But and then it's the sad thing was when we had our kind of thing, especially with Augie being there doing a terrible job. You remember I was like, yes, I made the best decision for me and my family because they're fucking mad, and maybe rightfully so. And and their argument I thought was ridiculous. The way I remember it was, you should have known we wouldn't have done that. oh, that's the point. I didn't know, and I wasn't taking the chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Let me make this clear. I 100% believe that it would have got squashed.
Mm-hmm.
But to be a little generous to myself, I didn't know, and I shouldn't have to. I don't make gambles like that. I don't take blind bets. I got to see the game to put money on it.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch the game on TV. It would have just been like you picking the Rangers and the Knicks tonight. And I haven't seen the Knicks play in 2 years, and I'm putting money on it. That's the way it was. No, I gotta see the game.
You remember how that stream went down? Because I do. The Sky, you were doing Sky does Minecraft.
Yeah,
and then
him.
before that, you were like, something's just not right. I'm not feeling this. You were just telling me like, yeah, I'm a little antsy, and I'm like, oh no, he's gonna do it. He's gonna fucking do it.
You knew I was gonna do it.
I knew something was about to go down. I knew you weren't like, because it was just after all that shit was happening, and you had been talking about doing it. We had gone back and forth talking about doing it, and I was like, nah, not a good idea. So I knew you were getting antsy about it, and so we go live.
How you were kind of in his corner, and
I was under the opinion that this could have all been squashed with one like conversation privately. Yeah, mm-hmm. I would say I was kind of in Nick's corner in that situation.
You might be right, but I wasn't. I'm not too good with people having fucking something over my head either, and I felt like I had something over my head. You know? I don't want to deal with anybody. I want to be on even terms with everybody. I can, and the other thing is like I'm not an egomaniac. Like I can deal with you outgrowing me. I've had Dave outgrow me. I've had all my friends outgrow me and stuff. So it's not a jealousy thing. What I can't deal with is less money. That's really what it comes down.
If you go back and watch that stream, there is a moment where you just fucking are like, yep, there we go. And I was just like, oh no. And then the funniest part is I was in that group chat with you guys. I think I can't remember what they called it, but it was like a bunch of the commentary people. I was in the group chat with you, Tipster, Nick, Augie. I think they called it the house at that point. And as soon as that live stream went over, I just saw the notification like, boop, boop, boom. Gone. I was like, damn, it's over. Here we go. And I remember getting frustrated with you when Nick did that video on you where it was more of just a joke, like joking about the situation.
But I knew what that was a part of.
Because I felt like that was an olive branch being like, hey, Tommy,
I think in some way it was, but I'm still in that mode where I don't know. Yeah. So say nothing and say it's funny.
Yeah.
Was it funny? You see that thing Nick did on it? Yeah, it's great. It's funny.
Yeah.
Then that takes all the like there's so much like out there like, are you mad? You're mad. He made you mad. You're mad. You lose. So don't get mad. And there's no way to get mad if you don't watch it. I never have.
That's true. Yeah.
Never have. So that's just the way I decided to deal with it because I think it hit a little too close to home and a little close to wallet with the hope that it could be repaired over time, but being, a little generally careful. And I think Nick got that impression after. I think he figured it out. And then he's like, oh my God, he thinks of me like I'm just another YouTuber and that I'm just out to fuck him and stuff like that. And that would make him more mad, like, oh God, he thinks I'm a scumbag the rest of the month. And then that wasn't the case. It was just my lack of knowledge. I never thought he was a scumbag. I think we just got in a blowout. I mean, you and we got in blowouts on here before. And that, I needed some time to see if I could do it myself. What have you? Because Nick was really influential. And, there was some other things going on prior to that too. There was the John Swan stuff too.
Yeah.
Nick, and he apologized for it. I mean, he came in, that was your first day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. That was maybe like a weekend. What's the John Swan stuff? I think.
Yeah.
Or like a couple months.
No, I think it was about 48 hours.
Yeah, no.
I got a call from him. I was sitting in the other room actually, and I got a call from him. It's like, I think I owe you an apology. I was like, why? And like, you're right about John. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I've heard that before, and I didn't feel vindicated. I think
the first one of the first like newsroom like VCs I was in, I think was you and Nick arguing about Johnson. I seem to remember that.
Well, I had more of a problem. Like Nick got mad. Like I didn't like his sort of conclusion on the whole thing. And, some of the guys agreed with me, and then you start calling other guys retarded. And I was like, well, that's not fair. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, Nick was obviously the golden boy, but I can't like shit on Kite because he doesn't, he doesn't do what Nick does. You got to treat everybody the same. So I stuck up for them and not for the group and not so much him. And for two reasons, I didn't like the way he was behaving. He's just pissed. He's his friend. It's the same kind of situation. Like his friend was fucking him over,
Yeah.
His friend was like doing rotten shit to him, and he wasn't dealing with it well. He wanted to look for the best side, and that's another thing too. Like it's had Tipster, like John. John did him really dirty too. By lying to his face, because John didn't care that me and him were gonna have a hard time over it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't give a shit at all. So he only cared that the lie, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like so there was a little bit of a stress on that, and there was I'm not gonna lie, there was some tension with the other members about the way he interacted with them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that may have come to a head, and the technical stuff. By the way, all these conversations, like this is not like newsflash. Like me and Nick have had all these conversations.
Yeah.
In the months after we kind of try to, and Nick had my back immediately because when the Mama Max thing first happened, when he had my back, and we were still kind of iffy at that point by that summer, because it happened in January, but by the summer we were okay, but repaired. But he had my back. He knew it was wrong, and eventually he ended up doing what he'd done in the past. I mean, let's face it, it wasn't Moda's video. It was Nick's. They caught Mama Max. But yeah, that was my perspective at the time. And you can hate me, or you can think it's wrong to take those kind of actions. And that's fair. But I'm just telling you my rationale. You can accept it or not accept it. Yeah. And I can't say I wouldn't do it again if I felt threatened in that way, when I thought it was just a conversation that maybe I crossed the line, but I don't think it was worth like, all right, I'm going to expose you.
Yeah.
Because like, whoa, like it blew my mind. Like, whoa, we've gone from having a mild argument where I was out of line, admittedly, to I'm going to expose you for being out of line. Well, that's a whole new level. So that was my rationale, good, bad, or indifferent. That's what it was. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I didn't want it to happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry in the sense that I hurt him, right? But I don't know that I wouldn't do it again. So, and that's just the way I felt. It's just that's too close to home. That's it. But I do say that with knowing that you were probably right in the sense we probably would have blown it off. But maybe that was my fault. That the ego part, I couldn't stand him having something over me. And I think that was part of my argument. I'm not going back in with him with the stress of knowing that he could expose me at any minute. I'm not having that kind of relationship with anybody.
Yeah, I get you there.
Yeah,
I got you.
Not that he would have done that.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part. If I'd let it slide and like tapped out and submitted right there and then I would have really hated him. If I broke up right away and then I could go be the bad guy for stabbing him in the back, then I don't hate him.
Right.
If I'm sitting there thinking, well, is he going to expose me on this one? Can I talk to him about this? Is he going to fucking record me? Is he going to do that? Like that would have eventually blown it up into something permanent rather than, all right, take the L right here and now and get it over with.
Yeah.
That's just the way I felt about it.
All right. Okay. Last little thing. TwizFizz. You had a live stream with TwizFizz.
Wow. What the fuck? I didn't know this was on the docket.
Yeah, it's on the docket. So yeah, TwizFizz. You did a live stream with her. She was very well liked in the community. She did all these skits. She does a live stream with you. Everything goes to shit. Can you explain that real quick? Like, what the fuck happened?
Well, she did a live stream with me. And I don't think it was shit Verse made it stuck. And I'll tell you, I'll blame Verse for the whole fucking thing. Yeah, I'll blame Verse. I made the comment to her. She, no, I'm not going to be friends with females, and I've given all these reasons before. I've kind of broke it before, but I mean, there's a limit. My wife's a number one. I don't have friends because there's no impropriety there, and there's no, everybody knows where I stand. And let's put it this way: no one's fucking accused me of fucking sending them dirty messages.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened to me. And there's a reason for that, because there's a line that you can't cross me when it comes to women. I mean, fucking what's her name crossed it 1 or 2 times, and I'm sure
Liana.
Yeah, she was out of line a few times.
Yeah,
but then the girls use that to fucking, how dare you? He's married. And they just clobbered her with it. Yeah. When it was me, it's like, no, you can't do that. That's just cute. You're a pretty girl, and I appreciate it, but let's leave it there. But she didn't like that. We can't be friends. I was like, I work with you, I can help you out, but no, we can't be close. Why? Because you have a boyfriend and I have a wife. But that's we can like, no, because that's intimate. I'm only intimate with one person, which is kind of a lie because, well, recently it become, back then it wasn't a lie, but it's kind of a lie because I consider Seth a friend, and she's somebody she can lean on me any day of the week. And I'm friends with one of girls, and those are pretty much my only 2 female friends and Glory Hunters too. But she's married and lives in Philadelphia, so there's no threat of me stealing her away. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: like every sort of cheat relationship that I'm aware of between couples starts off with we're just friends.
Yeah,
every relationship, couples or married people, but if it doesn't exist, it can't happen, can it? And those are my rules. I was taught this by an Italian girl, strangely enough, a girl I almost married from New Jersey, and I thought it was ridiculous myself. But those are my, she made it very clear to me, and she was not a jealous person or anything. You're my man, I'm your woman. You don't have female friends. It's that simple. You want to be with me? These are my rules. So somebody, she set boundaries, and that was the rule. And I obeyed it, kind of like, oh, well, whatever. It's kind of ridiculous. And I thought to myself, well, I don't have any female friends right now anyway. Everybody moved away or got married. So it really wasn't a big deal. But then, as I got older, I understand, this is why she does it. This is then this, yeah. So that's it. So, but I've kind of broken it recently. And I guess because I know more women now that live too far away, or I'm way too old to date. I'm not gonna. He says 29. I'm a lot of 17 years older than her. So it's really not that big a. I don't think it's as big a deal. But when I met Seth, I made sure when I met Seth, I didn't meet her alone. I'm also friends with a girl in London too. But there's no intimacy there. Yeah, Jade.
Seth's a bit like a straight lesbian woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives off.
Yeah, but that's what everybody says.
She's like a dude. She's like
that's what everybody says before they end up in bed. You know what I mean?
Or like the girl that you're talking about in London, right?
Yeah.
She's got those. She's a bro kind of vibe.
Yeah. It's not. And the strange thing is, my wife does not hold me to the standard that I hold myself to. But in recent years, they haven't. Well, we're getting away from TwizViz.
Yeah,
she just couldn't deal with that.
But that's a fair argument. Like a little pushback, a little this, and then move on, right? Why did it turn into such a disaster?
TwizViz had convinced herself that the people that had helped her, like Keemstar, like fucking John Swan, like myself, like Nick, right? Like Nick. We were all male, and she wanted to fall into that victim complex. She wanted to be the victim, and we all saw it as we've seen this before. She's going to turn around and say we sexually harassed her, did her dirty, even though we're helping her out. We've seen 100 times before in 100 different other places, so cut her off.
For the record. Yeah. I haven't spoken to Twiz since she stopped talking to me. And I wish her all of the best with whatever it is that she's doing right now.
Yeah, Mitch and Twiz are good friends.
Yeah, I know. And
I thought we were. We were not.
Yeah, and as soon as Twiz felt bigger than her YouTube wise, Mitch got tipstered. So like I don't want to have relationships like that. And I do think that she was setting the trap for the social climb. She was harassed and treated differently by the commentary community. That's what she was setting up. And I think me and John and Nick saw right through it. She pulled the string too quick. The bear wasn't in the trap yet. You know? And I don't think that stream went to shit. I think people picked up on that.
Right.
So when Nick had, like, I didn't have the big blowout with her. There was no blowout on that stream.
I think I remember getting a message. Like,
we left it
really fucked up.
Well, well, I didn't leave that way, feeling that way. I left. Well, we'll just agree to disagree. And verse saying, "Oh, you're such a retard," So I didn't think it was a bad. It was. I don't think it was a bad stream because to me, I just stuck to my guns. And then and then when she realized that I wasn't going to get trapped, she went into John. John's gay, so it was never going to work. And then she tried to do it to Nick, and Nick just swung.
Yeah, swung right back, and that's
when he swung right back.
And then she just stopped making content that involved commentary. Like she
swung. She swung back. She made like a parody video.
Yeah, but she didn't have the clout to do that yet.
It was funny.
Yeah, she didn't have the clout. She thought she had more clout than she did. Look, she was funny. She could have been great. But she didn't want to be our friend. She wanted to springboard. And she was cool with Mitch. She was cool with you, right? When you guys had like 100 subs, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as like she was going somewhere, like goodbye. She told. Well, would she say something about like you didn't treat your ex-wife right or some shit like that? It's always something about like male-female relationship.
I moved on too quickly or something like that.
Oh, like that's her motherfucking business. You could have had a fucking line of coke and hookers. It's none of her business.
Wait, that happened? She said that?
Tommy's actually.
I found out about that afterwards. I found out about that afterwards.
Did she say that to you personally, Mitch, or on a live stream?
I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact word, but like it was after I had a conversation of something that I was doing as a single dude. She just flipped the shit.
That's so fucking weird.
Do you know? And it was just to get it out of my system. I banged abroad within 24 more hours of my wife closing that door and walking out forever. 24 hours. Was it a good idea? Was it a bit sure? Was it? No, I just was hurt, and this is a great way to not feel that pain for a second. And by God, for about 24 more hours, it didn't work. And then I want to get laid again.
Yeah, and then it comes back.
And then it comes back again. And then
you got to do it. And then you got to do it again.
And then you realize, like, oh shit, I'm single again. Fuck this shit. I thought I could.
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys got anything? No.
I have a funny that I want to bring up, but I'll segue into the funny. Tommy, what's your opinion on on Joe Biden?
Oh no! Why?
I hate you.
Why? Why would you do that?
We have to go. We don't have 30 minutes.
I haven't bitched about Joe Biden once. And I'll tell you why, because everything there is apparent. There's nothing I can say. The guy shakes hands with ghosts. So there you go. That's my answer.
Because he's halfway there.
The reason I brought him up is the funniest shit ever. So he's been funny to me anyway. He's been saying like last week he was saying by Monday, end of the weekend, I'm talking to the guys. My guys are talking to the guys in Gaza. We're gonna have a ceasefire by Monday. Yeah. And then yesterday he fucking says to a news reporter, "Well, it's not looking, guys. Good guys. I don't think there's gonna be a ceasefire by Monday."
Like all I'll say is this: if Afghanistan was not a fluke, I have more of the problem with the people support him than him himself. They put the fucking the guy with dementia in office. The guy in dementia has dementia. It's tough to get mad at him. Do I ever bitch about Biden? And I bitch about politics all the time, and I bitch about leftists. Do I ever bitch about Biden specifically, Matt Pitt?
No.
Never. I just assumed I didn't bitch about him that much when I did that stream with Amory. And that was 100% his fault,
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's my proudest moment.
I'm mad at Biden, like I'm mad at Matt skipping every marathon in Georgia. All right, so
one day I'll get there. One day.
it just doesn't. I'm mad at Biden, like I'm mad at fucking a guy in a wheelchair who can't dunk. All right, so that's the way I feel about that.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned the Emory stuff. I wanted to say that's probably the proudest moment you shot from the point when we did
cool.
that donate. Cool. Just how that whole thing went. I recently showed Beckett, who's this guy we've been interacting with a lot. I showed him the Boblax video and just how I remember just talking about that with you behind the scenes and just how you owned it and fucking then Emory got almost there was respect there after you did that and you guys were out.
I did whatever. I did exactly what you have to do when you piss your wife off. You make her laugh.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and that's what you do. And I was lucky that Emory, and I didn't know this going in. Obviously, I would never. She was a pro too.
Yeah,
she was a pro too.
Yeah, and she was getting tired of dealing with the woke shit as well.
Well, they supported her, and she basically said that it's these people they went to shit on the white man. And they got their piece, and she was like, "Yeah, I appreciate it because I worked real hard in the military, and fuck that guy, calling my service into question." And then it was like, "Yeah, we really got him. Did you kill children in Iraq?"
And the funny part was she's like, then she was like, "Yes, I did."
Yeah. Well, I don't think I can support you anymore. It just really sums up the entire left, if you ask me. Yeah. Emory is the best way to sum up the left. You're needed until you're not.
A couple rapid fire things. We don't have to go into a long thing. Keffels. What's your opinion on Keffels?
I have no opinion on Keffels. I don't give a shit. She's a Nazi. Nazi. Okay, there you go.
Nazi. There you go. Okay. Ackman, you just had a conversation with the guy. How do you feel about him now?
Well, the problem is I kind of lost my anger towards. I only get angry about Ackman when I hear about Ackman and I remember the situation. But we really did. I was totally honest. We were just bringing him on to use him. I had a nice conversation with him. I don't yell at people and fucking freak out or get angry when people own it. He owned it, whether he was sincere or not. I think he was. I guess could be questionable, but that was really unfucking fair. I went after him for content. He's like, "You still mad about that?" And I was thinking, it's probably a pretty good point because I'm not, especially now I'm using, he's like, well, at least you're honest, and then I didn't get mad at a guy that kind of owns everything. And then we had a conversation privately for another 10, 15 minutes, and I told him about Emory. So I was like, he basically said, I stepped in it with you. I really know that, but I was so mad. My shit was gone. And you seem like somebody easy to get my anger at somebody else out on. Well, that's the truth. I knew that. But when I hear it, then once a man admits his sins, that's it. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I think he'll be on the show.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. What do you think about the character Sonic, Tommy? Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think it's for retards, and I'm glad my kid's not interested in it anymore.
What would you say if?
Speaking of that,
what would you say, Tommy, if someone is about to get a tattoo of Sonic with breasts on their skin?
I would say they probably know. They probably have sat on a bus with about 10 seats. That's what I would guess.
Well, Mitch, Mitch is on.
It's that time, boys. I literally have to go.
Mitch is the last guy I thought would do that, but now I should have known. Yeah.
I literally have to go now to do that.
That's what you get for making that your donation goal, asshole.
Why?
Yeah, well, I didn't think we'd make it.
Aren't you worried about a woman seeing that and having to explain it?
Yes. Well, that's why I was strategically placing it, right? I'm hiding it, so it's like going to be on my leg, upper leg. I was going to put it in front.
You're doing that, say, hey, look, I have autism. That's what you're doing.
I'm going to put it in front because my ass is sacred. I'm never tattooing my bum. It's a very nice bum.
Okay, well, how much money did you make off that donation, by the way?
That was a
$1,000
donation.
Goal. I should have.
You got a $1,000 goal to go get that tattoo.
Yeah, which I said high. Like, I'm not a big
how much does that tattoo cost?
Motherfucker, I'm gonna have a sleeve.
About 300 Australian dollars.
So okay,
yeah.
All right.
That's kind of that's like
I had
600
it 5,000.
I don't know what that's worth.
It's like 600 American. That's like
yeah. No, it's what? No, it's like 240 American.
Oh, that's right. American's lower. My bad.
I was just trying to think how I can fucking weasel in on that, but somebody's gonna put some gay ass shit that my wife's gotta look at. So
I had it 5,000. At 5,000, it was going to be Sonic bent over spreading his asshole.
Well, you gave up on getting remarried.
yeah.
No. Can I see like the drawing now, or?
Oh,
any chance I can see that now?
Yeah, if you don't, okay. To get your reaction, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
don't share this yet.
Right, share it. I think the people on this. I think put a 1 in the chat if you want to see it.
I don't know if I could show it on air.
Wait, $1,000 and we'll show it.
Is it showing nipples, Mitch?
Yes, that's why I'm not showing.
Yeah, we can't show it on stream.
Anyway,
sorry.
Nipples. I sent it to me.
Oh, fuck, I'm gonna find it.
Put little fig leaves over it.
Just check Mishi's DMs.
No, the reveal's gonna be on Twitter.
Yeah, he's getting lolly porn fucking tattooed on him.
Well, Sonic is 15, so.
Oh no.
Let me see this. He has to do it. There's like I can't even talk him out of it because I actually think it would be wrong not to do it now. You got a fucking crayon for it. Next year I'm gonna have a sleeve of anime. You know.
Yeah. All right. Here you go, Tommy.
Let me see.
It's sending. Done.
Let me see this shit. You're not doing.
Yeah, Mishi drew it.
I'd make those black boobies if it was up to me. Why does Sonic have to be a white woman? Why does he have to be Caucasian? You fucking racist.
Because it's less ink. I can just not ink the white parts because my
that's just you really gonna put. Where are you putting that?
On my upper thigh, so on the side. So if I'm getting a blowjob, they won't see it.
Oh, okay. Are you really giving up on women? Like a Dude,
I have given up on so much more than women lately.
What's the Mitch? How long ago was that photo of you in the suit taken?
Will she find out?
Yeah,
I already told her.
Oh, you guys still talk?
Yeah.
What if you have a son down the road? You're not that. I had a son at 39. You're not like close to that yet. Like
he has a kid. He has a daughter. Don't you?
Oh,
that's the only reason we talk.
Unbelievable.
Mitch, how long ago was that photo of you in that suit taken? The one where you
that was during the psychological interview for the police in
that you failed.
July 2022.
That you failed.
It's taken 2 years. He went from trying to join the police academy to get Sonic tattooed on his leg in 2 years.
Yeah, you're never leaving commentary, buddy.
Yeah, you're stuck here. And I don't think we said this on the show, but I said this before the show that there's been yet another example in Australia of someone who has passed the psychological test that I failed, and this individual murdered his ex-lover.
Congratulations!
Using his police firearm.
That's good.
So those are the kind of people that have passed the test that I failed.
So what's that say for your future, Mitch?
Oh, it's not looking good.
I gotta be honest with you, Mitch is one of the funnier guys I know. He's also one of the dumbest people I've interacted with. I'm sorry. You're not a great judge of character either, pal. He's
already married. Well,
well, Mitch, enjoy your tattoo, buddy. Have fun. Have a good one.
Bye.
Most people would have shaved their head. Fucking Mitch got a tattoo. What are you gonna do?
Last year he dyed his hair pink.
I did that last year, and I actually did shave my head. I shaved my head a couple of years before that. That was for Keemstar unblocking me. So,
really?
Things are just getting worse. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I
had an awesome idea the other day, and I was like, "Fuck! I should never put that out there." But All right, I'm gonna put it out there. Right, get my right nipple pierced. Right.
Yeah.
Add a chain to it, and then at the other end, pierce my dick, and then have like a fancy pocket watch on it. So I go, oh, what's the time?
I hope somebody pulls your fucking chain.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're fucking weird. You're so fucking weird.
Matt, you know exactly. All right, bye.
Bye, Mitch. Go get your titty tattoo. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. You know, it sounds like Mitch is making a lot of bad decisions, and you know who else makes bad decisions? Those who are bad with money.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting on.
Yeah, I don't have that open.
It's right in front of your face. You fucking.
Oh, what? I don't have the live.
Blind bitch.
Bad. Those who are also bad with money? Joe Vile. Stefan Corbino, Sliggins, fanfiction narrator, channel has been deleted, The Game in Which, K-Huck Cast, Pigeon Salad, Ringtail, The Gadget Guy, Echo Tragedy, Brooke A, Everborn, Strictly Patrick, Fresh Brewski, Jacob Thomas, Reynold Hughes, and Mame. If you want to be bad with money, you can pay $14.99 a month, get your name set after every live stream and every podcast episode. Can't afford that. There's the Beaver Lover, $9.99 a month. Gets you into priority calls when we're doing live streams, as well as early access to now recording episodes. And if you can't afford that, Stumpy's, $4.99, the classic. Gets you access to membership live streams, the one you're watching right now, as well as membership-specific episodes and the paywall in the Discord server. All you got to do is connect your YouTube to your Discord. Those are our membership tiers. Tommy, I got a couple more rapid fires, and then I think we're done. I wanted to know, what's your opinion on Destiny? Oh, shit.
Destiny?
Yeah, Nick wants to call in.
Destiny's one of the most influential YouTubers there's ever been. About what have you. But I think I've said this before, I think he has an authoritarian streak somewhere in there.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel to go back and forth with Destiny?
I don't think he's crazy or a bad person or anything, but I think, yeah, like I would be I would be nervous with him with any kind of like real political power other than what he already has. Oh, sure.
Dude, he's going to make everyone take multiple wives. It's over, dude. Our way of life is done if he becomes president.
Yeah, by the way, Nick, we're doing a member stream, just to let you know. Just in case.
I know.
Okay, cool. Just making
sure.
How
come you're not addressing Aaron Bushnell?
I don't think he would. I don't think he would do it. I think he would lay the foundation, and the people he laid the foundation would kill him, and then thank you, Destiny. That's what I think.
But it's been 112 minutes, and no one has addressed Aaron Bushnell's tragic suicide.
Oh my god, the memes.
People keep going, oh, I disavow it. Oh, I disavow. We shouldn't be praising that. I think we should praise him. If every person on Twitter who was annoying as fuck about politics all set themselves on fire in protest, do you know how clean my feed would look?
Yeah. I gotta be honest. After that, I was kind of burning out with grief, so I couldn't say anything about it.
It's fun. Yeah, dude. I got.
The only thing I found shocking about that, it wasn't even shocking. I'm not surprised, but I guess the amount of people I always knew, that guy's a hero. The only thing I found shocking about that is all these jackasses. It's Mental Health Month, everybody. Michelle's a hero. What the fuck? You can't have it both ways. That's what got me. Nobody remembers what they said last week. I noticed that.
Well, as an ableist, I have the pass.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. True. You all the ableist. I'm able to be. I want you to be able, so that's I'm an ableist.
Dude, Ethan put out a take, and he's getting flamed right now for it. I don't even know what it was.
Like Bushnell?
Yeah, dude, they really burned him on this one. It's kind of
pretty hot topic.
Dude, someone wrote me. He goes, I found you in the Mama Max situation. I know that you're not making fun of someone who succumbed to suicide. Yeah, I'm like, bro, I hope he doesn't see this, dude. I would feel awful if he reads this. Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of those, by the way. The people that came in from Mama Max and are like, what the fuck's wrong with you people?
You don't give a fuck about you. You know what? No, what's right? What's right about me? I'm fucking, you fell for Mama Max. I don't fucking take this shit seriously.
Yeah,
that's what kept me from the fact that I'm not of my own ass is the reason I fell.
Dude, Aaron looked dead in the camera and goes, boys, I got a blazing hot take for you right now. How about the cop though, who's pulling the gun on him and pointed it at him?
I had
get on the floor. Get on the floor.
It was funny, but if you think about it, he needed to draw his gun because he didn't know if this was some kind of bomb.
This guy had a bomb.
The guy had a bomb, or here's another thing.
But why is he standing so close if the guy had a bomb?
Well, no, because first of all, you don't know what you're going to do in that situation, but you definitely should have your gun out just in case he's a distraction.
Maybe you thought he was going Super Saiyan. You know,
that's
what
the hell of a fucking distraction.
No, that reminds me of all the shit and like that I hear about like Iraq and stuff like that, where you don't know if the first guy who's coming is the only guy who's there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, the bomb goes off. They tell you not to go back because there's usually a second one coming. You know, it's never just one. You know, so like you imagine like this guy's setting himself on fire. Come on, let's be honest. This guy's setting himself on fire. He must be an Arab. You know, let's be real. You know, he's got to be. Nobody does that. You know. I think the guy was reading too.
I think it's an albino one. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Some of them are white, you know, Jim. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find a little. I don't think that cop should be judged. I definitely think his firearm should be out. If he saying stay down was a little much, but
stay down. The guy's burning to death on the floor.
The stay down.
It looked like a skit. Like it looked like a Saturday Night Live skit. Of like
but it was I think you got to give that guy some kind of like leeway because the situation is beyond surreal. You know,
I know. You don't know what you're gonna do.
You got to think it's like even the most hardened fucking soldiers I know. Guys,
imagine he fucking shot him by accident.
Yeah, they're in big trouble.
Like imagine it's ruled that the death was by the shot, not the burning.
He killed a hero. You know?
And the soldier was, what if the soldier was black too? Like, and then you got a whole bunch of problems.
No, it was an activist who was fighting for a country that wasn't his. Of course, they were white.
And perfectly willing,
regardless,
and perfectly willing to do all the same things that Israel's doing now as being in the Air Force. You know, no one's brought. I'm the only guy that's brought that up in all the discussions about it. He was in the Air Force.
Did you?
What is Israel doing? They're bombing this
Maverick
shit.
died.
Did you guys see the Black Twitter also lost their shit about it, about people saying rest in power? And then all the black people came out.
All I saw from Ethan's take, Ethan was like, all right, so my first thoughts, because I only saw the first 3 seconds of the clip. So my first thoughts is don't say rest in power. That's not for him.
That's what Ethan Klein said.
That was the first thing he said. I haven't seen the rest of it, but yeah, that was.
I would have turned it off too. Yeah, I would have turned it off too. Absolutely.
Well, I want to hear him. I want to get because he keeps getting in trouble on this topic, so I'm interested to hear what happened.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I would get less trouble doing my same act at his level than he does trying to fucking dance around.
Well, he's friends with Hassan. Like, he has such a crossover audience. No, but he has been in the past, so there's still people who stick around. Yeah. I mean, that guy's literally just posting complete misinformation about, like, if you've seen Willie's series, you'd know. Yeah. Right? So he's got, like, a whole, like, squadron of 40,000 brainwashed people that watch his fucking live streams every day that have a crossover with Ethan. So yeah, if he says anything pro-Israel at all whatsoever, he's fucked.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so. So what do you think his motivations for getting fucked? Do you think that was the plan? You think Kevels is right?
What?
Kevels has come up with a theory, which I do think is a little hairy, but not out of the question because it's YouTube, that this was a coordinated attack between him and Hassan on Vosh.
No, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. I think if Vosh never came up,
I thought you were talking about the soldier. I was so confused.
No fucking.
No, to get back in Hassan's good graces, maybe.
I
think
you
said before that they have this massive pullover.
I didn't know. Here's the thing: I watched these people. I did not realize that Hassan hated Vosh that much until that drama. Like that was out of.
So Hassan does hate Vosh.
And based off the clip, but he did things about him in the last few months. So I wasn't aware it would be one of those, let's get back in Hassan's good graces. Let's go after Vosh. That very much feels like an afterthought after we saw how viscerally Hassan reacted.
It's not impossible. I don't think
like they had a back and forth and he's like, I hate these debate communities and stuff like that. But like, he's always been much more hard on Destiny. If anything, it would make more sense for Ethan to go after Destiny.
But he doesn't have any. No, but they doesn't have any crossover with Destiny anymore. They're separated. It makes more sense because you're going to have more impact with somebody that's closer to you.
No, Destiny's audience was coming in for a good year. Going back to the Pearl debate, right?
Yeah.
All the coverage on Andrew Tate was crossover. He's debated a few people. Who else did he get on there, Matt? If you don't remember, if I don't,
Ethan Klein. Who Ethan Klein debated?
Ethan has had like 4 debates in the past year of all crossover shit with Destiny's community.
Yeah,
all of Destiny's subreddit praises Ethan constantly now.
Right.
There's like all the posts that for Ethan that are in defense of Ethan come from Destiny's subreddit, not his own.
Let me ask you something, and maybe could he have done it? Yeah, maybe like Hassan didn't ask for it. Because here's the thing, like up until Vosh's recent, he was climbing. Hassan's been losing ground. I could see somebody like Hassan saying, I would have more if it wasn't for fucking, because they're all jealous fucks.
Look, I like to believe that there's some weird hypothetical, but it was literally the porn folder got dropped. Shit landed on the internet. Everyone went, wait, what? And I think he just saw it. Well, because I genuinely think he saw some of this stuff for the first time. I don't think he knew.
Yeah, no, you're right. He definitely did. No, because his reaction was like, "There's a world like this.
There's more. Like, what is pedo jacking mean? Like, it didn't sound like." And he's not that good of an actor. When he's malicious, you can.
And that's true. No, because when he first went after it was more of a joke, and then everybody freaked out, and then he got defensive because it was like, "This is kind of fucking crazy," you know?
Yeah. 100. I don't think it's any sort of weird setup or anything like that. I'd be surprised.
No, I never said it was a setup. What I mean is, I have overlap. There's damage there. This is one way I can get. Like nobody. It's kind of unspoken.
Yeah, I'm just saying Vosh is a weird target. And I don't think Ethan is really friendly with. Like, I think he's privately friendly with Hassan again, but publicly, like, there's no mending that bridge. Ethan is Jewish. He's very pro-Israel. He's not going to go back on that. His wife was like in the IDF or whatever, and Hassan's audience has been writing them saying that she's like killed children and stuff like that. There's no mending that bridge right now.
There's Red Bar proved that with that video that he made.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't make that. I've seen that around. That was the same artist who made the COVID video that went viral that got him canceled. The COVID one was really funny. It was like a Chinese woman like eating a bat or something like that. But that guy. But I mean, dude, that whole Vosh thing is super polarizing because it kind of I think what it was more than anything else is the anti-communities finally got a big talking head through Ethan. Like, all the people who've hated him for years and been posting, like, here's a clip of him being a pedophile. Here's a clip of him saying this. Here's a clip of him saying the age of consent is low. And one of those hit Ethan's feed, and he was like, yo, we got some shit. Actually, not even that. It hit Dan's feed. It hit AB's feed. They saw one of our tweets or something, and they went through it. They watch us a lot, for sure. Dude, watching that, why would, if this was a huge thing for Ethan, why would he slip it in 2 hours into a show? Like, that wasn't
true. No, that would have been no thing.
It was a segment that was like, whoa, how much do we really have here?
I'm convinced. Yeah, he had no idea. Then he stepped in gold, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they ended up getting like 4 shows.
This is on the docket. He talked about it, and they saw him as a traitor, and it had this kind of visceral reaction.
You got to do. Vosh's response was so amazing. It was one of the most, like, it validated everything Destiny said in the last 3 years. Okay, Vosh literally went on there and he goes, "I didn't watch it. My Discord said it was bad faith. Apparently, he took me out of context, and he said XYZ." But, like, Vosh didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So he was being bad faith, and he was straight up lying for 2 consecutive hours, and he didn't realize his own hypocrisy. Or if he did, he didn't care because he knew he could get away with it. And then everyone watching it, all of a sudden, like, oh my God, it's not working.
Yeah.
My fortress is falling. I can't keep lying to them because new people keep going in and just telling everyone that I'm a bullshitter. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was great. How is he doing? Is he back streaming yet, or Vosh?
Vosh is back, but he's lost. He lost, I think, like every sub that he's gained since September of last year.
Oh wow!
I think, what is it, like 60,000 in the hole?
That's a blow.
Oh really? He lost that many?
Yeah, and Willie's videos are coming out. Commentary videos are still coming out on all this stuff. So it's like, I think he's gonna have a little trouble. But again, you got to remember the token excuse. It is an election year, and there are not very many people coming out of. I mean, he's in collaboration with the rest of the streamers who are signed into that Candid thing right now. Progressive Victory, which is a really interesting topic that Tommy would probably love to hear about in private. But they fired Brianna Wu recently. There's a company called Progressive Victory that hosts weekly meetings and pays the participants, and then those streamers go on and talk about whatever they want to talk about that week in politics. That's how it's described to me. I think it's not just like Destiny and Vosh on there. It's like small streamers. Like they're paying Wick. Someone who streams to like 30 people. And he's receiving a paycheck from Progressive Victory and stuff like that. So they're all
it's probably Jordan. It's probably Soros money.
It's really interesting. I feel like depending on how it goes will depend on how much of a video could be made about this in the 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm watching something happen that I could probably make a lot of money off of.
It sounds a little like, although it's probably not the same thing, but it sounds like you have a similar fact is, what was the
I just quite called it that. It's Candid. It's literally Candid. It sounds like Candid.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the conspiracy theory part is the right doing this to him to get him to fucking trap themselves, just like Candid got the right. Well, the right.
I almost think it's just instead of like the whole it's a Google person who's trying to. I think it's just like they thought they could do something like that would work, and then there's a reason why Brianna Wu got unceremoniously fired. Apparently, there was a database breach, and all of them got doxxed because they were like. They didn't have any security on their fucking website, and you could find out all the people. And it's like,
why was that Brianna Wu's fault?
It wasn't Brianna Wu's fault. That part wasn't. She was one of the people who got doxxed. But like the people who are working on it are so fucking incompetent. They left all the shit like easily accessible in their database. So people were looking because they wanted to know who all of the funded creators are, and it's like all of them.
Some black guy.
No, it's like I think Erudite's on the payroll. Who else? Wick, Destiny, Vosh.
Wasn't that when they were storing it like a text file?
On the payroll? Really?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, but Destiny's been using this for actual content.
Realize, bad faith or not, people can go up and say, "You're on the payroll. I don't got to listen to you."
But Destiny's been using it to get like, Progressive Victory reaches out. Cenk Uyghur's debated him. Like that's how they're doing it right now. They're using that to like as a company to reach out to different people that's gotten him content.
Has Destiny changed his content at all? Is he changed it?
No, it's identical.
Okay, all right, okay.
But the guy's like Wick. Well, he said that like if they paid him enough, he would defend Mein Kampf. And Wick is currently he GoFunded a tooth surgery and hasn't gotten it yet, which is like already getting people a little concerned. And now he's getting the Woo bucks. That's what they're calling the Woo bucks.
Woo bucks. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, these people are nuts.
Hey, if they paid me enough, I'd defend Mein Kampf.
Yeah, why not?
I could do that.
I do it for free.
You got nothing to lose, you're South African. You know.
I made 3 copies.
What do they call that derby between Pirates and I can never remember that the Pirates and Kaiser Chiefs? Down there.
You're asking the wrong dude. I don't follow local football.
You told me the name of it. The what you call it derby? The Pirates Kaiser Chiefs. What is that called? The Cerrito Derby? You're the one that told me the name.
Are you getting your South Africans confused, maybe?
No, I only know one. I've only ever known one. You have no idea.
Not a clue.
The rivalry between the Pirates and the Kaiser Chiefs.
This reminds me when I ask Bo Blacks about hockey. You're Canadian. How do you not know?
Yeah, I know. Soweto Derby? It's something with an S.
Oh, Soweto.
So, is that it? Did I say it right?
Yeah, if it's referring to the place, it's called Soweto.
Oh, okay.
That's where Nelson
is that
Mandela's
where
house is.
Is that where both those teams are?
Yes.
Okay, now I got it.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about a sport or are you talking about pirates? Like, what the fuck's going on?
We're talking about Pirates and Indians, yes.
Hey, did you see did you see the run we made in fucking AFCON?
Jesus Christ.
My God.
Guys.
Oh,
guys. Let's not go this route, all right? Let's not
we almost beat fucking Nigeria. That's big for us. We normally go out in the round of 16.
Mm-hmm. All right. How about this? Now recording is always recording. Okay, so now we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.